Hey, it's me. And as you know, I'm doing my best here for an amateur show, and I really want to keep it like amateur level because I'm not the media, and it would be embarrassing to be like a professional YouTuber, especially considering YouTube is a left-wing website. Because I would feel bad for people that invest all their time and money into being a YouTuber, only to then have Google demote you or take away your partnership. You're at the mercy of a bunch of liberal goons. But being that I'm an amateur, of course, my microphone is the built-in microphone of a laptop, or sometimes the clip-on mic that I used to Skype with my parents. That's how professional all of this is. But it's really about people. It's about you guys. It's not about me. That's why I'm not on cam. And as you know, with liberal trolls and the internet nowadays, you go on cam, you have the face recognition, you have people bothering you at your work or your parents, or people get very psychotic on the internets. And so that's the main reason. And of course, I have to tell you that I'm not a professional, so when I listen to Rush Limbaugh, always after I already talked about something, I do notice that he's catching on. He's talking about a lot of stuff that I mention, which makes me happy, because you're talking about a professional who's been doing this every day for decades, and he has a studio, a golden EIB network microphone, and he does show prep. I just turn on the mic and start talking, whereas this guy prepares, and so it's a little bit more organized. And of course I would love to put lots of memes up, but this channel is different from Trump Mafia in that, it's advertiser friendly, because, as you notice, this channel has a partnership, and because it's just like a cityscape, most videos are advertiser friendly, so I can say what I want and not, have the shadow banning and all of that. And it's too bad, because if I was really creative and doing what I wanted to do on this channel, then of course it would be wild, it would be awesome, even if I'm not on cam. But that's the way it is. So it's kind of like a way to say what I want to say without being limited or shadow banned. And so the views are less, because who wants to look at a cityscape the whole time and listen to me the whole time? The chat is fun, but let's be honest, you have to really, really like my voice to keep on listening or to even share the video. But I will tell you that when I hear Rush Limbaugh talk about how people were silly to demand that Trump should fire Mueller and, fire this person, that person, because it's easy to sit on the sidelines, that's what I've been saying. Or that these people are really trying to separate Trump supporters from Trump, and that President Trump, when he says, I'm going to work with the Democrats, it's a negotiating tactic, and it's called positioning. And so he really says that we should all be grateful for what Trump did, because nobody else could withstand all this pressure and all these attacks. I've also said that. So I'm happy that somebody that is out there is making sure to, get people to be more grateful and to stop expecting the impossible or to question how Trump does things. He knows best. And so I'm here, and we have a community, but it's also a shield wall. Whatever happens out there, you always have my place to hang out, and it's going to be pro-Trump. And I don't even watch the media anymore. It's a complete waste of time. And so yeah, maybe in the new year I'll make a change, make something a little bit better. It also depends on if YouTube will give back the partnership to the big OG channel, the Trump Mafia channel. And I also have to say it's not fun, to criticize people on our side, meaning people that may be Republican or conservative, but I am amazed at how many people dropped the ball. And I'm talking about early 2017. I'm talking about people in the right media. I'm talking about people that follow those charlatans. And I've talked about it a lot because I really see that as the threat, whereas the left, what they do, it's expected, and I always count on their incompetence. So I don't really see the left or even the deep state as a big threat. It's an obstacle, a bunch of obstacles, but it's not a threat. The threat is always from within. People like Rush Limbaugh says that go wobbly, or people that expect the impossible, or people that don't understand Trump, or people that are traitors, double agents, Trojan horses, bribed people, and people that are liberals undercover, liberals with gimmicks. And I see so many of these people out there. I have those sunglasses, like the guy in They Live, that movie, you put on the glass, you can see who the aliens are, or those people that are infected or whatnot. And that's how I feel. So it's not fun because it's so easy to see people that are secret never Trumpers, or people that have Trump derangement syndrome, even if they claim to be big time Trump supporters. It's kind of like the reverse of how I have some big videos making fun of Hillary Clinton. You have so many liberals and they always post the same exact thing. They start off by saying, well, I'm not a Hillary fan, or I don't like Hillary, but, and then they're slamming Trump or protecting Hillary or, attacking me. But why would they have to start off by saying, I'm not a Hillary fan, but, and then whatever they say shows that they're a Hillary fan. In the same way, you have a lot of people that say, I support Trump, but, and then whatever follows shows that they're not Trump supporters, or they have TTS, stage 1 or stage 2 maybe. And it's sad, because they think, I cannot see it. Well, most people cannot see it. And a lot of people are simply blind to the treachery out there. I mean, people that are, looking at Trey Gowdy on their monitor, and they're like, oh, he's such a patriot. Look at his pointy head. I mean, his shiny face, it's a beacon of light, if you will. And I'm like, what the hell are these people thinking? Or praising somebody like Bourbon Bannon. I mean, that's gross. How can you be so blind? These people are so obviously traitors and charlatans on the internet selling their wares, their pots and pans and fake Rolexes and vitamins. It fools a lot of people on the internet, I guess. That's okay. I mean, that's life. You go out there and you see some weird people, and people that are easily had, like people that are in the Q cult. I mean, I've never seen a collection of bigger idiots than people that follow Q. And it's sad, because some of these people are good people, and maybe they think they're doing the right thing. But, if you don't have common sense even, then how can you be part of the shield wall? I mean, you're easily had, and I feel bad that so many people drop the ball. Why praise Q instead of T? Because they're embarrassed. They don't want to wear a t-shirt that says Trump. They want to wear a t-shirt that says Q. And that is because maybe they don't even like Trump. But the truth is that a lot of people that claim they don't watch the media all the time. Left media, right media, it's all the same. Because even if you only watch the right media, they're always talking about what the left media said and reacting to it. So that's like watching the left media. That's like watching CNN. And it's like a cabal. These people are helping each other. It's like an alley-oop, in a way, because even someone that doesn't watch MSNBC, you look at Barf Bart or the Nympho Whores, you always hear NBC said this, or Joe Scarborough said this and that, or whoever they have on there, Ricky Maddow, or Don Lemon on CNN. I mean, the best thing is just to get out of the media and just go to some fact-based sites. For example, the White House channel or Trump's Twitter messages. I mean, that's raw facts, and that's all you need, to be honest. And you don't even need me, but the truth is there is a place for a 100% pro-Trump channel, and this is it. You found it.
That's the ongoing effort, is to get people to essentially abandon the Trumpster. I've taken a quick time out, but time is just racing by here, and there's never enough of it. Back to the Kavanaugh babe, the woman that accused. Oh, yeah, Ballsy Ford. Remember when Ballsy Ford came out and made the first charges against Trump? What did Trump say? He found her compelling. We're going to listen to what she has to say. I thought she was very compelling, and if this happened, then we're going to get rid of Kavanaugh. We're going to get somebody new. He does this all the time. How many times has Trump said something and made you think he was caving? It's what he does. It's how he begins, like saying that. I think in his first press conference after the election, I think Pelosi and Schumer, I think they're going to want to work together. I think they're want to get things done, and I think we can. I think we can come to agreement on a number of things in the budget and maybe on the wall. He does this to position himself as willing to. He does this to dispatch an olive branch. He does this to avoid appearing inalterably opposed from the outset. I've been caught by it early on. This is why I had to evolve and develop the theory. I've given it the name pacing. It's my name for it. So if you Google it, you're not going to find this definition. This is what I call it. And he did it with Ballsy Ford. He's done it on the Obamacare repeal and replace when it first started. I can't tell you the number of times that he has suggested that he could work well with Democrats. And he did it after the election. He did it even after that first press conference. I saw a story last week in the Politico. Trump extending olive branch to Democrats in realization that to get anything done, he's going to have to work with them. But he has yet to disappoint. He did not ever join forces with Ballsy Ford. He didn't betray Kavanaugh. He did not betray the Obamacare repeal and replace. He's not suggested that maybe we don't need a wall after all. But see, I may have gotten a little short with the caller because, you know, it's easy for somebody on the sidelines sitting out here, any of us. Well, I'll tell you what, if I were in there, you know what I mean? I'd fire Sessions, and I would have fired Mueller, and I'd have done this, and I wouldn't put up. Well, you're not there. And there isn't anybody but Trump. And to suggest that Trump isn't fighting back or that Trump is not trying to hold his ground or whatever, I don't know what the term for this is, but I think you may, if you're of that frame of mind, you may want to step back and ask yourself, who else? You know, I marvel. I've always marveled at journalists, reporters, and so forth, commenting on the impropriety of people they cover and how the people they cover fall short, come up short. Well, what have you ever done but sit there and comment on other people? When have you ever joined the fight? What the hell have you done to advance anything other than just tear something or a bunch of things down? It's easy from the sidelines to sit there and complain. He's not fighting back. He ought to fire Mueller. He ought to fire Rosenstein. He ought to just shut down the Department of Justice. And he ought to indict Comey. What? My guess he's wanted to do a bunch of that stuff a number of times, and he's got some people around him telling him to go slow. Don't overreact in that regard. A note from a friend who heard the first hour of the program, and I want to share elements of the note. Everybody knows, Rush, that Trump sometimes says things that are counterproductive to getting his good message out. But then again, none of us have been the target for 19 months by a fanatic prosecutor or 92 negative press coverage. The point is that there is a visual microscope on Trump. Virtually 24/7. Virtually anything Trump says or does is reported, commented upon, amplified, broadcast around the world. There's not a one of us who could survive this kind of scrutiny and this kind of attention, and the purpose of it is destruction. The point is, as I see it, Rush, we have to deal with reality, and the reality is that Donald Trump and no one else, by sheer force of personality and guts, has saved us from corrupt socialism that Hillary Clinton would have ushered in. His point is, this is all worth it. The alternative to Donald Trump was unacceptable. Hillary Clinton, the continuation of the Obama agenda, and the dilution of the United States of America as a sovereign nation and a continuation of its becoming a member of a global conglomerate where there wouldn't be any debate about climate change. We would just pay up. Where there wouldn't be any debate about open borders. We would just keep them open. Where there wouldn't be any debate about whatever American culture or society is, it would be whatever the socialists said it was going to be. And then he injects something personal. He says, I know that much of your success has been handling nuts and haters with humor or parody. I can't remember you losing your temper more than once or twice in over 30 years. You never tweet, and you don't go Trump, and you don't hold grudges even when you should, given the stuff that's thrown at you. You don't even cut off the occasional madman phone caller. You let them rant their way into oblivion. That's why even leftists listen to you. Trump does not have the ability to let it go. Although when he's funny, he's really funny. But the lack of Trump's ability to just let this stuff go, the lack of Trump's ability to not lose his temper, to not push back, does not mean that his presidency is not vital at this 11th hour. And that his energy and resilience are amazing given the hatred he incurs. He deserves our respect for doing what 99% cannot do, and that's get up to hatred every morning, wake up to hatred every morning, and try to save the country. And let me tell you something, folks, that is undeniable. And I even said, I don't know how many times I've said it, there is nobody I know, in or out of politics, who could put up with what Donald Trump puts up with and stay focused. I don't know anybody who wouldn't be reduced to tears at the loss of their reputation, or why everybody hates them, or why can't they just leave me alone? What did I do to these people? I can hear all the complaints. There's not a single person that could put up with what he's putting up with. And the fact that he's putting up with it to essentially save this country, we ought to be grateful. People ought to be grateful, but there are people starting to weaken. There are people starting to go wobbly here. Trump's tweeting too much. Trump's embarrassing me with what he says about Tillerson. Trump's doing this. It all boils down to whether or not you think the country is at a crisis point. Whether or not you think that we actually are on the cusp of losing our founding and being overrun officially with socialism and worse. The guy that sent me the note says, I get uncomfortable sometimes for a nanosecond with Trump's blasts. But mostly, his furor sometimes overshadows his great record, which has already bested both Bushes. But that's about 1% of my worries, given without him, by October 2016, we were doomed for a disastrous 2009 to 2024 medieval age. So this guy literally believes that Trump's election staved off an absolute crisis and disaster that would have meant the end, eventually, of this country's founding. And therefore, keep in perspective why all these assaults and who's behind them. By the way, I have to say that I would venture to say that a significant portion of the official elected Republican population does not see it this way at all. You and I know this. This is why it's been so frustrating voting for Republicans, and they've said the right things on the campaign trail, but when it's come time to fight back or even just defend themselves, they haven't done so. And so we've kind of felt stranded. And it's because they don't see it this way at all. They don't see immigration, illegal immigration, as a threat. They don't see climate change and what it means in terms of the ongoing socialist onslaught. I don't see any of this. They think those of us who do are kooks. But Trump does see it. And the thing about Trump is, despite everything, he still isn't an ideologue. In a sense, we're kind of lucky that Trump's instincts align with our ideology, because he's not an ideologue. I can tell you from personal firsthand experience, if you start talking to Trump in ideological terms, you lose him. The conservative view versus the liberal. He may be a little bit more sensitive to it now, more aware of it now, but that's not his makeup. And a lot of people aren't ideological. As you know, it's one of my frequent complaints, that if people were more ideological and actually understood and knew the ideology of leftism, socialism, the Democrat Party today, that we wouldn't have nearly the trouble we're having in communicating with people. But Trump's instincts, which stem from what? What do they derive from? They derive from wanting a great America. And to Donald Trump, a great America is the America of our founding. An America born of individual liberty and freedom,